Information is power.
When you shop Wayfair, you can't help but show up.
Predator. Polite predator. A sexual predator, goddammit. Sexual predator calling him out. I got some news for y'all today. Predator. And y'all been supporting this motherfucker on the YouTube streets. Unbelievable. On these YouTube streets. Goddamn.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV. BS3 Network. Changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network is now on Roku TV. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Tell the truth.
Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. I'm coming for you, Polight. They're coming for you. The gig is over. The fast talk lipping. The card game is coming to an end. You Jimmy Walker looking, you know what, JJ?
Hey looking. JJ looking.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
The Information Man Show.
Information is power.
Right. The BS3 Network.
Information is power.
Yeah. Come you know.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. What's up? Here we go.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. I noticed we got the man of the hour, Brother Chief X, in the chat room. Chief X, yeah, as I said, I left a message in the chat room. I clipped a small piece of a video that you did when you played a audio, and I think Moorish World TV put that together, and you were going over the fact of how sick this individual we call Polight, which really he has no light, how sick of an individual he really is. And what I'm going to do today, hang on for 1 minute. I want to send something off to Twitter. If you can do me the biggest favor, if you've got a cellular phone, a iPhone, Droid phone, you're looking at this on a tablet, what have you, you can go ahead, hit the share button on here, send it to your Twitter, send it to your Facebook. You could do all of that stuff.
Tell the truth.
And I appreciate that. Get more people over here. I got a video, a small portion video, and I want to say shout out to Super Sly 75 because he showed a small portion of this on his channel. But I got a video from when they had the court case July 7th. As you know, Polight he was not there. We didn't get an explanation as to why he did not show up to court July 7th. That was the date that everybody was waiting for to find out what was the final verdict for this man. Of course, there was a rumor that he is going to give a plea deal. A plea bargain is what they call it, plea bargain deal. And people were going back and forth. Well, what does that really mean? If you're plea bargaining, that means very simply, and you don't have to be a lawyer to figure this out. You can look this up for yourself. That means that the charges that the state, that Miami has against Polight is probably it's so overwhelming that there's no way he can get out of it but to give a plea deal, to have a plea deal. His lawyers probably came back to him and told him, look, you're looking at doing this much time. This is what they got on you. They've got the DNA evidence. They got the semen evidence, the whole 9 yards. There's no way you're going to get out of this. So your best deal is to do a plea bargain deal to maybe do less time in a prison environment. And I'm telling you right now, with this, it's a 43-second clip that proves that this man is about to do a plea deal. In a plea deal, you might as well be guilty of all charges. You don't do a plea deal if you're innocent and you say, nah, we going all the way to court with this because I'm completely innocent. You don't do plea deals if you're not innocent. You do plea deals if the state, the prosecution, doesn't have a very strong case against you. Then Polight would be saying right now, let's take it to court. But the fact that he's pleading by default shows that he is a guilty as charged, because those charges and the evidence that they have against him, ladies and gentlemen, is just too damn powerful for him to slick out of it. What I want to do before I show you the video of the hour in which the lawyer herself says, I need your client to come back. They set a new court date for September the 6th. I'm showing you the actual small clip bit footage in which she said your client has to come back September the 6th. And your client has to turn, we're talking about Michael Noak Jr. is his real name. Polight Michael Noak Jr. has to turn his passport over to his lawyer, to the court immediately. On that, when they go into court on that day in question, passport's got to be taken away. What does that mean? That means that he's going, allegedly, and I can say this allegedly, he's going to prison. Because if he wasn't going to prison, why would they need to use logic? Why would they need to take Michael Noak, a.k.a. Brother Polight? He ain't no brother of mine, ain't no brother of yours. What he did to a 14-year-old child who should be, maybe 16 now, but that's a child. They're taking that passport away because they don't want him to sneak up out of the country and go to some country where there is no treaty between the United States and those countries when it comes to expedition and snatching somebody up. The fact that they want to if they did not want his passport to be turned in, that would mean that they are not concerned about him, A, being a flight risk, and B, they're not looking to prosecute him in terms of putting him in prison. This is the inference that you will be able to get out of it when I show you that video. Now, I'm going to show you small clips that prove that Polight is what we thought he was or what we believe him to be now, ever since we have the mugshot that took place in Miami. This was back in, 2021, this whole thing cracked down? Was it 2021, everybody? Or was it 2020? Correct me if I'm wrong in any means. I'm going to show you These are clips that I took from my own channel as a reminder of what this man did to reinforce that he is guilty as hell and he is a sexual predator. And when I show you Chief X clip, and I want y'all to subscribe to Brother Chief X, when I show you how
Tell
Chief X
the
gives us
truth.
further data and information to go on from Moorish World TV. When I show you that, it's going to knock your socks off. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
This is the woman who is believed to be the mother of the 14-year-old, which Polight took advantage of right here. And it's a damn shame. It is a damn shame that he took advantage. And this is the thing. The mother of the child said she never gave him permission to take her daughter to a club. Now, according to reports, he took her out to a club which had been still shut down, meaning it wasn't open. Then there was other reports that he proceeded to taking her to a hotel room or a motel room, in which at that point in time, he began to take advantage of her. And Chief X has a video where you hear Polight speaking about that men might have to start doing R to females if things get more rougher. You're going to hear all this ideology. York, y'all know about York, who was a part. Dr. York, who ain't no doctor of mine, out of New York. Everybody swore by this man. He has the worst child abuse case known to humankind on this planet we call Earth. And this man with the mugshot that you see right now praised Dr. York and saying that even if he was caught touching a child, I would still have to support him. That's Polight. That's his nonsense. This is where he gets it from. He worshipped a child pedophile himself and Dr. York. And then this so-called black, I don't even know why you use the word black conscious community. That's a Nazi moron. Conscious? If you're already conscious, you don't have to call yourself a conscious community. And within that so-called conscious community, you have men who have been defending this monster, have been defending this monster over the years on their programs, have made excuses for this monster because he gets them great views. Let's bring them on. And then within the black conscious community, they spend most of their time debating over religion, pyramids. I'm a Moor, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm a this, I'm a that. All these things that they waste their time debating and pontificating about and basically diarrhea of the mouth about hasn't done anything to improve the black community or even their own community. If you're going to spend so much time talking about pyramids, where the hell is our 21st century pyramid black conscious community, black people? Where is it at? What good is it to have all that information, but you can't do nothing with it to transform the community? But you're willing to go to bat for this monster called Polight, which really means he has no light. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you some things that's going to blow you away. Now look.
Tell the truth.
How did we get here? Why is it that shouldn't even say that. Why is it that Michael Noak Jr., Polight, why is it in the first place that he's out free walking around? Why is it that he hasn't been in jail this whole time waiting for a trial or waiting for what his faith is? I'm going to tell you why. Not only am I going to tell you, but I'm going to let Lex tell you in his own words. This is from my channel or from another brother's channel called Lex, who explains why he's out in the first place. You see, ladies and gentlemen, there was a clerical error in Miami which allowed this monster we call Polight to be free in the first place, to even be waiting to see a second hearing. He should have. I want to know, why did he not show up at the July 7th? What type of excuse did his lawyer truly give the judge? But this is why he was able to get on social media and tell everybody. Remember, he told everybody that he was going to sue everybody for defamation. He was going to sue the people in the chat room that were talking about him, that he was coming for everybody. You can't sue everybody, Polight, if you're already been seen as guilty, or in this case, you're going to do a plea bargain. So if you're a plea bargain, you can't sue anybody for defamation of your character because you've already defamated on yourself. But let's listen to Brother Lex explain this whole thing about the clerical error that allowed him to get out in the first place.
Everybody is saying that the case can't be that serious because Brother Polight was let out. You know, there's a lot of people right now saying that, you know, the case against Brother Polight, while it appears to be stacked high against him, against his favor, there really can't be no strong merit to it because Brother Polight is out on bond. And let me just let y'all know something. Since I've gone forth with this information, there's been a lot of people behind the scenes that have been reaching out to me.
Do y'all remember this one?
Especially in the Miami-Dade area.
Miami-Dade area.
People that have been reaching out to me, especially in the Miami-Dade area. And if you're intelligent, you probably know what I'm alluding to. I have inside information that says,
tell the truth,
Brother Polight was not released.
And to folks in the chat room, yes, she's a girl. I say young lady, but she's a girl. 14 years old is a minor, underage. That's right. I stand by that. She is a. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a clip from my previous video a few years back when this whole thing hit out. So that's why you hear me talking to the audience, because people, I reinforce the fact that what he did was to a girl. 14 years old is a minor. That is a girl. That is facts. Let's get back to my man, Zion Lux.
On bond, simply because he made a payment and they let him go. Brother Polight, like a lot of people in the system, he was released on a clerical error. I'm going to say it again. Brother Polight was released on a clerical error, allegedly. Brother Polight allegedly was released on a clerical error. So that's what a lot of people need to know first and foremost about Polight being free, walking the streets. It was a clerical error. The case allegedly wasn't filed properly. And if anybody is familiar with the system, you know that sometimes these kinks occur. Sometimes these things happen. It's very unfortunate, but these things do happen. So according to some very, very credible inside sources in the Miami-Dade area, Brother Polight was released on a clerical error. It was filed wrong. And these things tend to happen. Everybody else?
Tell the truth.
All right. So Zion Lex says there that it was actually a clerical level. I'm just giving you some reminder of how we got here in the first place. He was released on a clerical error and was able to pay the fee, the bail, to be able to be walking the streets when he got on social media and he was running at the mouth, talking about everybody and their mama, who he was going to sue, the whole 9 yards. I want to say thank you for everyone that's here. Beverly Palmer, Chief X, I see you out there. My brother, we got Triple C, Treehouse is in the house, who's been on this case. The beautiful Bernice. I got my man Stephen Gilmore YouTube channel. Make sure y'all check him out. Brother Gilmore, I got to get back over to your channel. I thank you for being here and listening to this. So these are reminders for you. Okay, so that's the first premise. He's only out right now because of a clerical error, and Zion Lex explained this to us way back. Okay, I think he had some. I think he was able to contact, or he had some contact, if I'm not mistaken, with the mother of the child, who you see right here with Polight. Polight thinks he's a pimp. He thinks he's slick. And if you ask yourself, why haven't we seen Polight on the social media as much as he was after this whole thing happened, talking about how he was going to get everybody? Because he probably was told by his lawyers that you need to stay off of social media because they can use social media against him to use his own words against him, ladies and gentlemen. What we have in our communities, like Polight, are sexual predators. These are black men, like any other men of any race, that can be a predator to our community. He's a predator sexually to our community, and he's also a grifter. Remember, he got caught in that cargo scam where he was acting like he was involved and managed the cargo homes, and that turned out to be a farce. This man has been scamming and scamming, and why do you follow a scammer? Why do you follow? And look, to be on my FBA right now, Polight is not even FBA, y'all. He's African. Now, I'm not trying to talk negative about, I think he's Nigerian. I'm not trying to talk down on our African brothers and sisters, but he's not even of our lineage. And we've been letting this man that's not of our lineage run a scam on us, run games on us. He's not. And he thinks he's a pimp. Remember when he went on Jesse Peterson, the all-time, one of the top raccoons in the business? And check this out. Check out this clip right here. Check out this clip right here.
Okay. Number 2 wife. Well, this is the first wife that got involved with this relationship. I've been with Aminette for 19 years. We've been together since 12, 13 years old.
That's amazing.
And so,
I think you've been 12?
Yes.
Wow.
As we grow and we develop, we began to understand more about economics, and we wasn't really left with any inherited wealth. And considering that,
See how everything is phrased within the context of money and finances. It's pimp culture, people.
Right. That's
wealth really
honest
begins
talking
at
now.
$150,000 a year, and the threshold for poverty.
All right, there we go. So he came on there with his 2 ladies. He is a predator, and all those cars. If you look at his social media, he's always got the cars. Most of that shit, he's renting or borrowing from someone. He's got the cars. He's sitting on the cars. He's trying to live this hip hop life. And remember, he was talking all that pro-black. This is to the brothers and sisters out there. He was talking all that pro-black stuff. And as soon as he got to Los Angeles, he's running around with white women. Remember that? Now, when I talk about the fact that he has been ripping off the black community, to me, I find it a damn shame that there are some black people out here who use social media to grift and take advantage of other black people and then turn around and say that they're for black people because they can tell you about pyramids and stars and the Dogon and woman is God, black woman is God, and black man is God. All of that is just nothing but a bunch of talk to get to you emotionally, black people, to be able to grift you. Because remember how he grift Crypto Roots, and Crypto Roots, God rest his soul, he ripped Crypto Roots off for his inheritance of thousands and thousands of dollars. But Crypto Roots talks about the day that he got picked up by Polight, and there was a young lady with him who he thought was Polight's daughter because he presented it that way. And Crypto Roots gives a really good description of the effery that was going on. This in the first place, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go with Crypto Roots, who he ripped off Crypto Roots for tens of thousands of dollars. Here we go.
The car opens and this woman comes in the car, and I'm like, oh, okay, that must be his older daughter. And then immediately she just starts fucking yapping, talking, like I'm like, whoa, like this energy just totally switched up in this car. And so we're like driving away, and she's just nonstop gossiping and talking. Polight's just like silent.
Tell the truth.
I'm silent. She's nonstop fucking talking. And I'm thinking,
thank you, Triple Treehouse. He took Crypto Roots, who you see speaking right there. He took him for $90,000 of his inheritance. This man right here, who we got the nerve to call Brother Polight. No, this is a con man, a fast-talking man. And I'm going to tell you, folks, I've never personally this is my advice to you. I've never trusted people who talk super fast. Anytime you are encountering someone who talks fast, they talk big, use a lot of big words, but they're all over the place, they are a con man because they talk fast and they talk slick and they say things that get to you emotionally to be able to sell you on something so that you become their latest victim. Not only is he a sexual predator, but he's been victimizing black people emotionally for quite some time and financially. Let's get back to Crypto Roots.
Wow. This is awkward. This is awkward. And so I drive, apparently, to her apartment, park outside. She goes upstairs, and she comes back down, and she is dressed in some, she's dressed like she's about to go on a date. High heels, all tight shit, and ready to go out. Like, and I didn't realize what I guess this is they want to go out on it. And so I was just thinking, like, wow, like, dressed like that to go out with your dad. Like, in the back of my head, I never said nothing, you know? And immediately I got the vibe. So, and then she switched up. She was like, da-da-da-da, and brought up money to Polight. And then Polight's like, let's not talk about that right now. I already told you to do. And then she's like, so what? Like, I already brought it up. Let's talk about it. And then she just went off. Like, you told me about this, and you said you're gonna give me this kind of money, and da 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 da. She starts flipping on Polight, and Polight's like, I don't know how you don't realize how disrespectful you sound right now. And she's just like rude. And then I was like, whoa, like, this is awkward. Like, this is a really awkward car right now. And she was like talking to Polight as if he was a boyfriend, like as if he was a boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or something. Like the vibe did not at all seem like father and daughter. And I'm not trying to gossip. I'm not trying to bring up. Somebody else told me this too that stayed with Polight. You know, like, what'd you think about that? How'd you think about it? Were you around that? I'm like, yeah. It's like, what kind of vibe did you get? I'm like, that was a little bit more than a little father.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody. So God rest his soul. Crypto Roots and Triple Treehouse has reminded me that it was actually, I said thousands of dollars, but it was $90,000 of those thousands of dollars that he ripped Crypto Roots off. It's a damn shame. But you can see Crypto Roots is saying that the vibe that he got from a young lady that was in the car that he thought was it was a girl that he thought was Polight's daughter, but he could tell that there was a relationship that Polight was having with some underage girl. This shows that he has a pattern. He has a mental mentality, as my man Chief X was saying on his channel, a mental mentality and a pattern of this sick behavior preying on females. I want y'all to hear something else, an audio that I did use on my previous video that speaks to how sick these individuals are. Let me find this video right now. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to play a little bit of music for you.
Tell the truth.
All right, back. Here's the audio. This is the audio where you have people that are members of this so-called black conscious community, And of course, you're going to have men, unfortunately, that are going to justify having relations with underage minors, which is wrong, by justifying it with the Bible. You see how sick that is? And Polight, you can hear Polight asking questions. Listen to this. I played this on the last video that I did. This is a reminder to all of you, a review as to why we got here when I play that courtroom video for you that will put a nice crescendo on things today. Listen to this audio right now. This.
If the Lord wants you, wait a minute. The Lord was with me up until the point.
Can you hear it? Put a 7 if you can hear.
It was okay to rape 12-year-old girls. I don't know if that's already brought that.
That's Polight talking about okay to do harm to 12-year-old minors, and then he's listening to people who are suggesting that it's okay because of the Bible. And the question is, why wouldn't he not condemn this man? Why wouldn't they as a group not condemn the man? Why would they not want to get away from someone who's justifying this? But you never saw Polight, just never saw him deny it and say, this is wrong, brother. But you see the intrigue in the Bible. Go right ahead now. Let me let you all hear this.
Slander. That's what I'm saying. I want to know. I didn't put that on you. I didn't put it on you. So you don't have to do it.
If you can hear the audio, push 1 in the chat room.
Going to the law in the ancient world, men, if they saw a woman that they like, they can grab the woman up and rape the woman, right? and we're going to read the scriptures. All right? No, somebody. No, hell no, you heard the problem 12 years old. The Lord has a family. No, but that's not good law. Well, let me say this. No, let me say this.
Lord, there's no problem with men raping a 12-year-old or any woman that they saw on sight.
But you know what you're thinking? See, you were brought up in this man's food system, so that's how you think.
Tell the truth.
But back in the ancient world, if you saw
Do you hear how sick these are so-called conscious black community members? Do you see how sick they sound? At that point in time, you can hear Polight questioning. At that time, Polight was using some sense by questioning this man. But then this man says, that's because you've been brought up in this man's world. So you're saying that if you question a man taking advantage of a minor and they tell you as their excuse, Polight questioned him, but he failed to get away from them and he failed to condemn this dude. You could tell that Polight kind of could tell that what he was saying was wrong, but Polight drifted into it, stayed in the conversation, and eventually you could tell that he was convinced that it was okay. This man is sitting up here telling you and me, based on the Bible, talking about, well, in ancient time, but we're not living in ancient times. We're not living under the laws of the ancient times. We're living by the laws of modern 21st century times, fool. Why are grown black men justifying this type of behavior by trying to back it up with the Bible? And I'm sorry, the Bible is a book that somebody created and none of us was around to know who exactly wrote the book. What were they thinking? What was their mindset? What psychology did they have? We simply have been told by our parents, by society, that this is a book that was written by prophets. But then little did you know that there were other parts of the Bible that was left out purposely. And I'm going to talk about that on the Classified Black channel, because I discovered this information. There's lots of stuff that was left out. And the Bible was one of many books, not just one, but we're stuck on one book that people use to fit their ideology, their sick mind, to justify their behavior by saying, you've been twisted by this man's world. But in ancient times, the man was running the ancient times too, fool. Let's hear some more of this sick stuff.
We're talking We talking about grab a woman, man. And God had no problem.
Grab a woman.
Let me tell you something, man. I mean, I don't want to speak like this around a woman, you know. But I'm gonna say this, man. Let me say this, bro. Let me say this. Most women dream about that.
It's true.
All right? Most women fantasize about that, man.
Y'all hear this shit?
Tell the truth.
Did y'all hear that shit? Then he tops it off with most women fantasize. Ladies in the chat room, how many of y'all fantasize about a man snatching you up, having his way with you sexually? How many of you would agree with a man snatching an underage minor up and having their way with them? That's sick stuff. But this is the type of people that Polight was hanging around, talking to. But what I noticed is in the beginning when Polight was saying, well, wait a minute, you're saying, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, for 1 minute of a second, Polight sounded like he had some sense there, but then he never, going forward, he never denounced this man. He never stepped in and said, wait a minute, brother, I can't let you continue saying this. I don't agree with it. It's wrong. You're wrong. We're not living in ancient times. No, Polight didn't, he didn't stop it, because the truth of the matter is he agrees with it. He agrees with that. When I play that video that Chief X did on his channel, he agrees with it. He's down with it because he's been doing it, allegedly. This is very, very, very sick stuff, everybody. Very, very sick man. I'm going to reinforce my point. Check this out. This is when he was talking to a young man. And see, this type of nonsense, you can poison this so-called community of consciousness. You can poison the minds of other young black men who will now be poisoned by this sick ideology from a group that calls himself a black conscious community that hasn't created anything. I'm going to say again, where's the pyramids? Where's the nation? We have no damn nation. That's why we run around trying to identify with other people's religion. I'm going to make some people mad today. We've got black folks that want to identify with Islam or call themselves Islamic, and that's really the religion of an Arab man who doesn't like you as well and is also was involved in your slavery. Then we've got people who want to identify themselves as Moors, and last time I checked, whether you believe that the Moors were black or not doesn't really matter. What matters is black people in America, we don't come from North Africa. That's not where we come from. We're tropical. We come from, for those of you who believe that we come from Africa, we're from the western part of Africa, tropical Africa. We're not from Northern Africa. So where's the lineage to being a Moor? And all that Moorish science sounds great, but there's science. There's no Moorish, there's none of this stuff. That's just words that black people put together to make something sound special that they put together. I'm just keeping it real with you. Then you got the Hebrew Israelites. Black people are lost because we're trying to find who we are. And then, of course, we have black people that will say, well, I'm Native American. And Native Americans only settled with a small number of black people in certain parts of the country, and that was mainly the freemen. And if you don't have lineage to freemen, and I always wonder, people who identify themselves as Native American, if you are truly Native American and you can prove it, why don't you go get some of that money that the other Native Americans have been getting? Why don't you create a coalition instead of arguing with people on YouTube, create a coalition to go get your reparations, your money? Because I got my paperwork. I can prove my lineage to freemen legitimately. Family did the research. But all these different, and last time I checked, Native Americans are Native people. Cherokee, black people always pull Cherokee out of their collective behinds, but don't even realize it was the Cherokee Indians who were involved in our slavery as well. They were involved with enslaving. Some of them were involved as working as bounty hunters to capture black people. to take them, and then when they would take them into their tribes, they would take them into tribes as slaves. That's how you got freemen in the first place, when they intermix with black people. That's only a small number of black people who fit that category. It's not all black people. But what I'm saying to you, because I know I pissed some people off here, is that we have an identity problem. This is why people like, and then some of us will say, hey, the Egyptians were black. I don't care personally if the Egyptians were black or not black. The reason why is because at the end of the day, we don't come from Egypt. Black people in America, I'm talking about black people in America who are ashamed to identify themselves as part of being part of having ancestry in West Africa, because we've been culturally conditioned by Tarzan movies to see Africans in a negative way because of those Tarzan movies that white people put out to culturally condition us. And therefore, black people, we want to identify with anything else that looks more exciting. So we'll say, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm everything, because we have a problem. And then we get on YouTube channels and debate with other people around these issues. And then somebody like Polight can come in, take advantage of you emotionally around these issues of identity and where we come from. He can talk about all this planetorial shit. He can talk about pyramids. And I'm going to say it again. Where is our pyramid right now? If all that information is so powerful, black people should be creating pyramids in the black community right now. Black people should have nations with infrastructure, our own military, our own everything in the black community right now. This man that you see before you gets on the social media, acts like he can make you rich, make you wealthy, but we forget that he ripped off crypto roots for $90,000.
The truth.
And I think he gave some of that money back because he took a big hit. I'm bringing this up, and I know I made some people angry that are of these different religions, to show you how we are so divided by our religion, by these little clubs that we're members of, and we're so lost and still don't even know who we are. This is how Dr. York and all these individuals like Polight were able to manipulate us, because he was a member of Dr. York's little cult where he was doing things to minors, which is why he's in prison today. If y'all think I'm just talking nonsense, listen to Polight on this clip right here.
Attention, he has shut up the Bible at a shooting range. He has even been on camera supporting a confirmed pedophile.
Speaking on Brother Polight, however y'all want to call it, let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
You hear
Tell
that?
the truth.
Did y'all hear that? And if you notice, he had a young black male who he was feeding this garbage to. Again.
However y'all want to call it, let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
I'm going to play that again. It needs to be played again, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell the truth.
It needs to be played again. Listen.
However y'all want to call it, let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
You hear that again?
Tell the truth.
Just so nobody's, I'm playing this because I want to emphasize that this man is on some sick stuff. Listen again.
Evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
He's talking about Dr. York. And he's poisoning the mind of a young brother by saying, okay, he says it out of his own mouth. If they can prove with the DNA, just like they can prove it on you, Polight, they can prove all these things are facts that a man, Dr. York, did these things to minors. Would I still see him as my Most High God? And he says, yes.
However y'all want to call it, let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have to.
He would have to.
The truth.
He even had the nerve to pepper in there, what if it was 1,000 children? That's the mentality. That's the mindset. And this is why this man is looking at going to prison and giving a plea deal and having to give up his passport. I'm serious about what I'm saying. Make sure you subscribe to the program.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
This man is a monster, and he should have been dealt with a long time ago before it even got to. You can make the argument that because those who knew he was a charlotte, those who gave him safe passage, those that put him on their platforms, those who put him on these platforms and promoted him and pushed him out there, you got to say that they're just as guilty, indirectly guilty, as Polight obviously is guilty, because they helped to bring him and rise his celebrity status within social media. But let me put something in perspective. When I Googled Polight's case in the regular Google, you know that most of the stuff that comes up is just YouTube. So what does it tell? I thought about it. I said, how well known is this guy? The truth of the matter is that this man is only really well known within, and I'm telling the truth right now.
Tell the truth.
This man is only really well known within the YouTube streets.
Tell the truth.
That's really true. Most of the information on the Google about his case is really YouTube videos from a couple years ago. That's it. That means that this man is really not that important in the bigger sense of the outer world as we think he is. But it also means that it was social media and social media alone that built this man up, made him popular, put him on this pedestal of being the guy that you got to listen to because he can debate and throw his words around very fancy. And I said before, you got to watch these fast talking individuals who are trying to sell you on something, ripping you off. And also he has a self-esteem problem because you notice he's always got to wear these funny looking clothes, looking like a little JJ, a pimped out. I mean, he looks like a pimped out JJ. And he's on cars because he wants to show this image that he's rich, that he's wealthy, that he's a man of means, that he's high value, that he's a very important person, that he's like a celebrity. But yet when you Google Polight, the only things that come up about Polight is what's on YouTube. There's nothing about him in the mainstream because the mainstream don't know him and don't care about him. It is YouTube, Black YouTube, that put this man on the map and popularized him and gave him a platform for which he can spill garbage to black people while trying to grift you. And then when he gets caught with an underage minor, he's still trying to run around on social media and tell y'all he's going to sue everybody. And then you got people trying to figure out how they can still support him and say that it's all right. Anybody that thinks it's right what he did, you shouldn't want to associate with them. There's nothing about what he did that was right. You can't justify it. Just like when I did those videos about R. Kelly, and I had people coming on the panel actually trying to debate a lawyer, the Empowered Esquire, actually trying to debate her about her law qualifications, actually trying to make an argument to justify Kelly's behavior. You got the same type of people that are running around on social media that still support this monster you call Polight. Michael Noak is the name, who did a horrible thing to that woman's child. And you can see he doesn't know how to dress. He dresses like a clown with all this loud clothing. Whenever you see people dressing in loud clothing and always trying to act like they've got all the riches in the world,
the truth.
It's really because they're not really happy with themselves. So they use clothes and jewelry and these cars that they really don't own to impress you and to make themselves look bigger than what they really are, when in fact, they know that they're living a lie from day one. Let me go ahead and show you the video from court. This is from July 7th. Polight did not show up. I wonder why. How did he Fendingo himself out of that? But the judge made it very clear. She set the court date for, I believe, September the 6th. You're going to see it on the screen. And she made it very clear to Polight's lawyer that he must turn in his passport. Check this out right here, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out.
On behalf of Mr. Noak.
I'm sure you all are aware that there's a lot of folks on Zoom on this case.
If we may go sidebar for a moment.
Sure.
That's the judge.
All right, so back on page 10, Mr. Noak, it'll be reset for plea 9-6.
Did you hear what she just said? It will be set for a plea. So he is, it looks from the judge's mouth, not my mouth, not speculation. You're getting information over here. The judge says set for a plea. Don't worry, I'm going to repeat this so y'all can hear it clearly.
Can we set it for 10 a.m.? Is that all right, or just?
Yes,
all right. 9-6 for 10 a.m. for plea.
Boom. September 6th at 10 a.m., Brother Polight will surrender his passport and he will be set for a plea. So it is confirmed, not by a blogger, not by anybody speculating. It has been confirmed by the judge of the case and his lawyer. Let's play this. Again, I'm going to play it all the way through without any interruption.
Honor David Harris on behalf of Mr. Noak.
I'm sure you all are aware that there's a lot of folks on Zoom on this case.
If we may go sidebar for a moment.
Sure. All right, so back on page 10, Mr. Noak, it'll be reset for plea 9-6. Can we set it for 10 a.m.? Is that all right, or just?
Yes,
absolutely. All right, 9-6 for 10 a.m. for plea.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what she said? No, I'm stopping this. If you heard what the judge said, that he set for a plea September the 6th, you must put a 7 in the chat room. Did you hear that part of it?
Sidebar for a moment.
Sure. All right, so back on page 10, Mr. Noak, it'll be reset for plea 9-6. Can we set it for 10 a.m.? Is that all right, or just?
Yes,
all right. 9-6 for 10 a.m. for plea. You're going to take possession of Mr. Noak's passport and then.
Thank you, Triple C Treehouse. She says that he wasn't physically in the court because he was on the Zoom, and I get that. Nowadays you don't have to physically be in court, but the fact that he ain't showing up physically shows you that the man is scared. He's shaking in his boots. Let's play the video again.
Honor David Harris on behalf of Mr. Nowak.
I'm sure you all are aware that there's a lot of folks on Zoom on this case.
If we may go sidebar for a moment.
Sure. All right, so back on page 10, Mr. Nowak, it'll be reset for plea 9/6. Can we set it for 10 a.m.? Is that all right, or just?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
9/6 for 10 a.m. for plea. You're going to take possession of Mr. Nowak's passport and then do a notice of compliance that you have it.
Did you hear the judge say that they're going to take possession of the passport?
Tell the truth.
Which means they don't want him being able to escape and go to another country where there's no extradition treaty. They don't want him because you know why? Normally when they do that, it's because he's going to jail. He's going to jail. And he's getting the deal because the evidence against him is so overwhelming, it ain't even funny. Let me remind you what the evidence is against him. Remember, Polight is being charged originally with lewd and lascivious acts with the molestation of a child 12 through 16. That's a felony. Lewd and lascivious acts. Lewd and lascivious conduct with a child. That's a felony. L&L exhibiting with a 16-year-old. Control of a delinquent. Manipulating a minor. Engaging in false imprisonment. Those were the charges. Remember, those were the charges way back when, and there still remain the charges, but that's why he had to plea this thing out. He's got serious stuff coming on him. I'm going to play this one more time for the cheap seats in the expensive seats. Here we go.
Honor David Harris on behalf of Mr. Nowak.
I'm sure you all are aware that there's a lot of folks on Zoom on this case.
If we may go sidebar for a moment.
Sure. All right, so back on page 10, Mr. Nowak, it'll be reset for plea 9/6. Can we set it for 10 a.m.? Is that all right, or just?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
9/6 for 10 a.m. for plea. You're going to take possession of Mr. Nowak's passport and then do a notice of compliance that you have it.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Tell the truth.
All right, I think I have my mic turned on. I think my mic might have been turned on. Remember, these are the charges that he has against him. He has lewd and lascivious molestation of a child 12 through 16. Lewd and lascivious molestation of a child 12 through 16. He's got L&L L&L behavior with a child. L&L exhibiting control of a delinquent. He's got engaging in the false imprisonment of a child. And battery was also put on him. Remember that? I want y'all to know he had heavy charges against him, which is why he did the plea deal in the first place, everybody. Can you hear me? Put a 7 in the chat room. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody that's in that chat room that's rocking with me today. I got Chief X in here. I'm saving the best for last, and that's the Chief X video in which he exposes Polight saying things out of his mouth about how it's going to be a time when we as men are going to have to start being savages and going after women and girls and getting what we want. Savagely. He's a sick man. Very sick. Let's go ahead with Chief X right now. That's my brother. He's in the chat room right now. Do me a favor. drop his link. Chief X, you can drop whatever links you want in the chat room, but if anybody can drop his link periodically throughout this video that I play, it's a very serious video, and he breaks it down like no other because Chief X knows the black conscious, a so-called black conscious community. He's been there. He has debated these individuals. He knows who all the players are. He knows who all the players are as it relates to Polight and the things that he's done to females. He knows the players. Drop his link, subscribe to his channel. That's my brother. Let's get ready to listen to Chief X. And I'm going to give him I'm going to give him a nice introduction here.
This is why Polight is guilty as fuck. He's gonna get convicted of 20 years. I forgot about this clip and to insert it into my few live streams I'm doing. This is why he's guilty. Listen.
Years ago.
Pause. Morris Road TV brought this out again, and I just remembered it. So let me give him credit. Listen.
It seems to be so cryptic. Listen.
Reduce yourself to the state of an animal and have to go out there and attack somebody in the name of you gotta eat, or your child gotta eat, or your wife gotta eat. We need to start we need to start being able to have some sexual discipline, because if we don't discipline ourselves sexually, what's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves in a very compromising position, whereas we may even start raping people.
Did anybody hear what he just said? I'm going to play it back one more time. Listen closely.
Now, we need to start being able to have some sexual discipline, because if we don't discipline ourselves sexually, what's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves in a very compromising position, whereas we may even start raping people.
This nigga said, if we don't discipline ourselves sexually, we'll find ourselves in a compromising position where we may start raping people. This is the psychology.
Tell the truth.
The mindset of a sexual predator. And if he don't get what he wants and seeks and desires, his mindset is to take it and start raping people. If the intellectual progress doesn't make it happen, you have to take it in some type of form of way. I forgot this clip was out there. And everyone knows this clip is out there. And they heard it. All his friends and supporters heard this clip. Listen to what I'm telling you. And if you haven't formed an opinion after hearing this specific clip, you're on some bullshit. Listen.
He said we need to start disciplining ourselves, or we're going to find ourselves in a compromising position, and we might even start. What in the world type of diabolical mind is that?
Right.
Who would support an animal, a monster like this?
He's talking about Brother Polight.
Right.
Brother Polight made the statement.
How is that? How does that conversation even get on the table?
Like real talk. I mean, like just real talk.
How does that conversation even get on the table?
I would stand because of our overzealousness and inability to control ourselves because of a lack of discipline in general. So discipline has to be practiced now. I know we hear about we need coins because if we don't discipline ourselves sexually, what's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves in a very compromising position, whereas we may even start raping people. What's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves in a very compromising position, whereas we may even start raping people. We're going to find ourselves in a very compromising position, whereas we may even start raping people. We're going to find ourselves in a very compromising position, whereas we may even start raping people.
Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Tell the truth.
What's up, everybody? Whoo. It was sick. It was very sick listening to that. I want to give a shout out to Brother Chief X who broke it down. He broke it down. He added an extra element because he knows these players within that so-called black conscious community. It ain't conscious. Because if you had consciousness, you would have outed this man a long time ago. So that the fact that people were supporting him shows you they weren't conscious. Why follow people who don't even have enough common sense to out a man who was doing something to underage girls? Keep this in mind. And I think I agree with Michi X. She even said this. You got guys in the prison system, the so-called thugs, and I know this very well because of the kind of work that I do. You got guys in the prison system that are gang members, people that have done a lot of done murders and all horrible sorts of things. And within the prison system, they have a pecking order as to how they treat and respect certain crimes that you do. And crimes against women and children, you are seen as a punk in the institutions. I know because I deal with gang members, I deal with guys that are incarcerated, and I hear the way they talk. They don't like being around individuals who harm children, who harm women. And when they find out that you've done that, they might end up harming you. They don't want to be roomed. They don't want to be in a cell with you. They don't want to program with you. They don't want to do anything with you when they identify you as being someone that harms minors. So why is it that inmates, so-called criminals in the prison system, have enough sense to know not to respect men who come into the prison system with this type of crime, and that they will put them in check, and sometimes in some cases they will try to take their life, which is why they'll have to put them in protective custody, or what we call PC up. But then we've got, as Michi X said, I'm taking a page from her, you've got Negroes out here on the streets who will accept the behavior of this predator right here, who is going to give a plea deal, because I played it right here for you on this channel, where the judge says we're going to move the next hearing to September the 6th at 10 a.m. in Miami-Dade County. Take the passport away from your client. I want that passport. And we'll set that date for the plea. So he's going to do a plea deal because, as I said before, the evidence against him, the L and L, the lewd and insidious acts against a minor, battery on a minor, right? False imprisonment of a minor, giving a minor drugs, oral copulation on a minor. That's right. He's going to, when they got the DNA evidence and all of that, his lawyer came back to him and said, you're not going to beat this case in a trial, man. The best we can do is get you a plea deal. You'll do some time in prison, but you won't be in prison for the rest of your life, but you're going to do some time. So all that stuff that he was talking about, how he was going to sue everybody, he can't sue anybody because he's about to be in prison for doing this deed on a plea deal. He's going to tell me and you that, oh, he ain't guilty. Yes, he is. You don't do plea deals if you ain't guilty. So don't let him fool you with the trickery, the tricknology that comes out of his mouth. He said in that video that Chief X said that there's going to come a time when we're going to lose control. We got to feed our families and our wives, and we may... Chief X, take it away, brother.
Sexual predator. And if he don't get what he wants and seeks and desires, his mindset is to take it and start raping people.
So
if
basically,
the intellectual progress doesn't make it happen, you have to take it in some type of form of way.
Tell the truth.
You hear what he's saying? Chief X is saying that what you heard on that audio on his channel is that Polight, as he said clearly, that we'll have to take it by all means if it means R-ing people, R-ing females, and becoming animalistic.
I forgot this clip was out there. Heard it. All his friends and supporters heard this clip. Listen to what I'm telling you. And if you haven't formed an opinion after hearing this specific clip, you're on some bullshit. Listen.
He said we need to start disciplining ourselves, or we're going to find ourselves in a compromising position, and we might even start what?
Let me move it to us so you can hear Polight's voice.
Support.
So it has to be practiced now. I know we hear about we need coin, because if we don't discipline ourselves sexually, what's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves in a very compromising position, whereas we may even start raping people.
Tell the truth.
Polight didn't even follow his own advice. If we don't start disciplining ourselves, then we're going to find ourselves in an uncompromising position in which we may start R-ing people. Polight didn't even follow his own doctrine, his own advice that he claimed to be giving to you. You see, you've been following a damn fool. How are you going to sit up there and make such predatorial statements, because that's what it was, about we got to discipline ourselves, but he didn't discipline himself. Don't forget to subscribe.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
To the channel, and we tell the truth over here.
Tell the truth.
And Chief X was telling the truth. This man right here did not use self-discipline, did not follow his own advice, so therefore nobody should be listening to a man who cannot follow his own advice. I want to say thank you for Chief X digging this audio up. I want to say peace and respect to Moorish World TV for also digging this information up in the first place.
Tell the truth.
And exposing this monster for what he really is. Remember, this is the mugshot. And remember what I said earlier before, that in the prison system, they have no respect for men like this that do this type of crime. So if the guys that are in prison are regulating this sort of stuff, why are we as men on the outside that are living in the free world or the so-called free world, why are you not regulating this? You got people, and I'm sure you're going to find people on these YouTube streets, just like they did with R. Kelly, that will try to justify this. Matter of fact, they did. Oh, it was the girl. Maybe the girl enticed him. Maybe this 14-year-old girl enticed him. Oh, and I remember everybody blamed the mother. Oh, the mother. Why did the mother allow Polight? And here she is. Here go the mother right here. Why did the mother allow Polight to take her to a club? Why did it? No, turn out she never gave Polight permission to take her daughter anywhere. See how silly people are? Before you jump out the window, you should get the information. For those of you that are coming in now who might have missed the other important video that I played before I end this stream, let me play for you the court hearing in which he's now going to have to turn over his passport and he's going to do a plea deal, and the judge says it for herself. Let me let y'all hear this again, especially for those who are coming in late into the stream.
David Harris on behalf of Mr. Nowak.
I'm sure you all are aware that there's a lot of folks on Zoom on this case.
If we may go sidebar for a moment.
Sure. All right, so back on page 10, Mr. Nowak, it'll be reset for plea 9/6. Can we set it for 10 a.m.? Is that all right, or just?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
9/6 for 10 a.m. for plea. You're going to take possession of Mr. Nowak's passport and then do a notice of compliance that you have it.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
However y'all want to call it. Let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
Tell the truth.
All right. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. What I'm going to do before I end the program, as I normally do now, is my typical thing that I like to do now, is I'm going to pull up your statements in the chat room, try to read them as best I can, and do some read and response with you before I end the program today. Once again, I want to thank Brother Chief X for that powerful video that he put together. Chief X, I don't think you know how powerful of a treasure trove of information that you put out there on your channel. He got a lot of views on that video too. I didn't play the whole video. He had it was like a 7-minute video. I played maybe 5 minutes of it to give my audience the gist of that. But all the credit goes to Brother Chief X for putting that together. And he's got other great things on his channel. So make sure you subscribe to Brother Chief X, because he knows this Black conscious community very well. He was a part of it at one point in time. He's debated with some of the best of them in that community. He's very well known. There's some that hate him because he tells them what? He calls them out for all their messery. Let me go ahead and speak with you all for a moment here, read our statements, do some call and response before I get ready to call it a night. Give me I'm having some problems with my system for about right now. Let me play a little bit of music until this thing can come up, and here we go. All right, here we go. Hopefully this thing's gonna work like it's supposed to. All right, give me a minute. All right, we got Old Reliable here. We have Beverly Palmer's here. Chief X has been rocking with us still. Let me see. We've got Black Anonymous is in the house. Keith West is in the house. Really appreciate you having some problems with other part, not working like it's supposed. I'm trying to bring up your comments, and I'm having some technical difficulties right now. So I think I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to pull that up. Let me also say thank you to the Empress Goddess who's in the house. Bernice is in the house. Thank you. Brother Yalpo says this: what happens if that people get so far in with the grifters that when they are proven to be dirty, most people will double and triple down to be on the dirt? Most people will double and triple down before they'll just admit they have been made a fool of. And we got Carlos. That is a fact. You get a clap for that. All right. And hopefully this thing is going to work. Oh, problems. Let's see here. Having some technical problems, everybody. Okay. Woo, sorry about that. Technical problems. Look like it froze up for about a minute. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that alone. I keep pushing. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, maybe this thing will work for me. Let me see. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring you guys up on my system. So, let me see. We've got Keeper 116, beautiful Bernice. We've got yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. I'm gonna leave that alone because I'm having some technical problems over there. So I'll just read your messages off of here. We got Carlos Thomas who says, I'm raising ruckus inside my class action lawsuit. Okay. What's going on to you? Peace to you. We've got the Fifth Avenue GGTV, Fifth Avenue in the building. Thank you for being here. Clap to you. Yes. Little technical problem there. I'll fix that. We got Alicia out of Chicago. That's my lady in there. She is great. Always a really great supporter of this channel. I really appreciate you, all that you do. I want to say peace and love to Pator Afro. Pator Afro, I seen you in the chat room today. You've given a lot of great comments in the chat room. Once again, I'm going to say it again, Brother Chief X is in there, so make sure you check him out as well. He's a good brother. We've got Jill's Chocolate Boutique. I cannot go without saying hi and wonderful love to her. Empress Goddess, much love to you. Jonathan Kidd was in the house today. I appreciate Brother Jonathan Kidd for being here, showing up and being here to support the channel. Thank you, too. Thank you, thank you. Salute to Fifth Avenue as well for being here. If you have not subscribed to the channel, this is how I get down. This is how we do the production. I talk about a lot of different subject matters. If you look in my catalog, you'll see that I've done other videos on Polight before. This was sort of a summary of what got us here in the first place with this Polight monster. And I want to thank you. Make sure you subscribe.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
We got Craig Harper in the building. So let me say peace to Craig Harper, who says, yeah, if the prosecutors on their game, you're going to be with Dr. York. Well, that's where he learned all this nonsense from in the first place. And we know that Dr. York was a part of the biggest case as it relates to the mistreatment of children. And he's where he belongs and where he deserves to be to this very day. There's no doubt. No doubt. We've got the, let me see, is Great Pill Podcast in the house? Great Pill Podcast, salute to you, peace to you, and welcome to the to the moderator family. And Fifth Avenue GG says, I'm loving your show. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I would normally be able to bring your comments on my screen, but my system for pulling that up, it's slowing. It's acting weird for some reason. So I'm going to leave it alone because it was slowing everything down. I'm going to leave it alone and fix that problem for next stream. Be on the lookout, everybody, for my for those podcasts that I'll be loading up, those podcasts and going live with those podcasts sometime as well. Thank you for watching the program today. I hope you got something out of this. I hope I was able to remind people of the monster that this man is, how this whole thing got started in the first place. And remember, I'm going to read this to you. Brother Polight, let me see this. Check this out. This video, Michael Noak Jr. I'm reading my description to you. Michael Noak Jr., a.k.a. Brother Polight, who had a court date in Miami, Florida, July 7, 2023, but was not present, but he was on Zoom. For some reason, at this hearing, he was on Zoom. It's rumored that Michael Noak Jr., a.k.a. Brother Polight, will give a plea bargain deal. Will give a plea bargain. On July 7, 2023, the judge set a new date for a plea deal in which Michael Noak Jr., a.k.a. Brother Polight, will be sentenced at that time, okay, under this plea deal. Now, remember, this all happened because of what he did to a 14-year-old girl in a hotel room in February 2021. Polight was arrested and charged with sexual battery on a 14-year-old minor in Miami. Polight has refused to go into further details. He never gave you details about what he did because he was in denial of it, okay? He's lied to the public. So everybody, we'll be back at this on September the 6th. I'm going to go live about this issue again when we get the final deal, like how much time he's going to do, what the whole breakdown is. I thank you for coming over and being a part of this stream today. I appreciate all of you out there. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And I appreciate you. Stroll down below this YouTube page. And if you want to subscribe to the Information Man Speaks podcast as well, I haven't done anything over there in a while, but I will be soon. You can also check out my sports channel, which is called Prime Sports Media. Go over there and subscribe to that channel if you're interested in sports, particularly football. I've been following and chronicling what's happening at Colorado with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and the team that he's building there. Go over to that channel if you're interested and subscribe to that channel as well. That's Prime Sports Media. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And everybody, do me the biggest favor. Share this video out in all of your social media, your Twitter, your Facebook, wherever you can. And if you are a content creator, please share this out in your community tab, because you know how YouTube is when we have these kind of channels like mine. They try to shadow ban you and keep your videos from getting more reach to more people. And y'all know that's what they do to a lot of us on this black YouTube street. You know it. With that said, everybody, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. I'm going to thank you again. I'm very humble of the big crowd that came out today to watch this program. I want to say peace and respect to everybody watching on what we call Roku TV. And Brother Ben was in the chat. Well, Roku TV is great. I want to tell you that right now. We got the BS3 network, which I'm a part of. Happy to be a part of. And I want to say peace to Brother Ben. If you saw his symbol in the chat room, he's the one that runs the BS3 network. You can catch that on Roku TV and everything like that. Let me give you some call letters here. And here we go.
BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. You are now tuned to BS3 Network. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
All right, everybody. Thank you. I love all of you that have been supporting me for a long time. You know who you are. Peace to all of you. Thank you again for the support today. I really appreciated it. Make comments in the comment section of this video, and I will respond to your comments. And I have a whole bunch of other comments from other videos that I have to respond to that people have left. I think responding to comments are important. I will get to those comments that you've left in other videos and respond to those comments as well. Thank you again. I'm your humble servant here to bring you the truth.
Tell the truth.
As it is. And with that said, everybody, we're going to get ready to get on out of here and call it an evening. Take care. Peace.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Information is power.
I just want to say to my brother Sir Hale Speaks, great to see you over here, brother. I'll be over at your channel to see what's going on over there. He's a great content creator. Check a lot of great conversations about relationships with women and men and all those different things of that nature. Has great panels, has a lot of great guests that come on, and they have great panel discussions around these issues of relationships and the things that go on between black men and black women and relationships in general. And I appreciate my man, Sir Hale Speaks, coming over. Sir Hale Speaks podcast, to be correct. And thank you, brother. It's always good to see you over here, and I really appreciate the things that you do on your channel. If I had not said that enough to you, I'm saying that now, brother. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
Thank you, everybody. Peace.